too much Jokic on the night. Isaiah Thomas returns to Boston as the Denver Nuggets beat the Boston Celtics 114-105. My name is Mike Petraglia, joined by Josue Pavone here on the parquet. Look, before the game, Brad Stevens told us Jokic can not only score, he can rebound, and he can pass. He had a couple of deadly threes in the fourth quarter when the Celtics were making a run that really kept the Celtics at bay.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps the energy going. He has the offense flowing, and he got it done defensively as well. Had a double-double by halftime. Every time the Celtics seem to buckle down defensively, he just opened things up, and that's because of his outside touch, what he's able to do from behind the arc, and, of course, what he's able to do in the paint and his passing abilities. We talked about it before tip-off. That's exactly what we saw. We saw how great of a passer he is, why he's one of the best, if not the best, passing big man in the league, and he just demonstrated that against the Celtics.
And, you know, look, this is another case, I think, Josue, of Kyrie Irving can only do so much. He had 30 points. Al Horford had 20 points, but not enough from the other complementary players on the Celtics. And against a team like the Denver Nuggets, who are chasing the Golden State Warriors for the top seed in the Western Conference, that's not going to get it done.
There's a lot of weapons, Trags. You got Harris out there. Murray wasn't as effective as he was the last game, but he certainly was in the second half. And you saw on the defensive end, it was almost like they just knew 2 steps before the Celtics were going to make a play. Huge steal by Harris down the stretch in the corner, where you saw the handoff between Horford and Irving that's been working very well for the Celtics of late. He read that from a mile away, got the steal. That was a huge momentum killer. Couple that with a bunch of missed three-pointers, couple golden opportunities. The Celtics did come out with huge steals down the stretch, but just couldn't capitalize offensively.
This Garden Report brought to you by our good friends at 1-in-100. Go to clnsmedia.com/Celtics raffle for your chance to win tickets through a raffle to some of the best Celtics games remaining in the season for the cost of a beer or a large pizza. Again, go to clnsmedia.com/Celtics raffle. Isaiah Thomas got his tribute video in the first time out of the game. He even got some playing time, 6 minutes. He came into the game with just over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. He got 2 assists. He was 0 for 2 from the field, but just a tremendous tribute from the Boston fans to IT.
I got a little emotional. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I cried or anything. There wasn't tears in my eyes, but I tell you, you felt those emotions that we felt of those special nights. Those special nights where Isaiah Thomas was doing things that you just didn't see all the time throughout the NBA. I mean, what he did for this Celtics team, especially the moments when he lost his sister, how he responded from that 53-point night. When you see those highlights, it really brought back all those feelings, all those emotions. Trags, that era was when I first started covering the Celtics, so that's just always a special moment for me. But I just don't think you see a player like that all the time, or maybe ever, or at least in the near future, wearing a Celtics uniform. I mean, he's just so special, and what he was able to do when he was here, the ovation he received, it was obviously well deserved. And I thought the Celtics did an amazing job with the way they put that video together.
It was a 1-minute standing ovation, I counted, from the fans here inside TD Garden for all of that Isaiah Thomas did for the Celtics in his time here in green and white. And it really was a special night. Danny Ainge stood up and applauded him. Wick Grossbeck, of course, the owner, applauded him. And a lot of the Celtics had a great smile on their face, none other than, I thought, highlighted by Marcus Smart, really laughing at the video, laughing at Isaiah in a good-natured way. All of the Nuggets teammates went over to him and congratulated him during his moment. All right, now the business at hand. The Celtics are now 2.5 games behind the Philadelphia 76ers. They're a game and a half behind the Indiana Pacers. They're really entrenched at 42-28 in the number 5 seed. They have a game in Philadelphia Wednesday night against a team they have handled upside, up one side and down the other. But this has a different feeling. Gordon Hayward didn't play here against Denver on Monday night. He probably won't play against the Sixers on Wednesday night. Sixers play in Charlotte on Tuesday. So, the Celtics have their work cut out for them if they're going to move up the Eastern Conference standings on Wednesday night.
Right, it's not going to be an easy task, Track, but one thing that they have in their favor is what Al Horford means for this team. Al Horford is really in a rhythm right now, in a groove that we want to see continue from here on out, and track record shows that typically happens. So at the end of the season, going into the postseason, we saw what he did against Joel Embiid. That's obviously a huge matchup in the Celtics' favor. Hopefully we can see some of that again. But, you know, if you're talking about the rest of the regular season and the toughest matchups, I mean, these two are pretty much it. If you're talking about the toughest teams are going to give you a really a close game. It's pretty much the Denver Nuggets and the Philadelphia 76ers. Stealing one in Philadelphia would be humongous for this Boston Celtics team because if you remember track, they have 2 more matchups against the Pacers. The Pacers are starting to look like what they should look like without Oladipo. So I think those 2 matchups obviously are huge for the Celtics. If they're able to top the Pacers twice, coupled with a win in Philadelphia, that puts them in really good shape to grab that 3rd seed, Trags.
All right, the Celtics have to work on their defense, Joe Sway. They get beat here on a lot of cuts and a lot of open threes. The Denver Nuggets obviously studied the film, and it paid off. They beat the Boston Celtics here 114-105 inside TD Garden. For Joe Sway Pavone, I'm Mike Petralia, CLNS Media.